it was game, set and match, RBA. He defeats Andrei Rublev, coming back from a set and a breakdown. So let's break down the reasons which led RBA to the victory. My name is R32, welcome to post-match breakdowns, and subscribe if you love tennis. I'm working really hard to keep producing the best tennis content I can, so subscribing would mean the world. I hope everybody had a great new year and a great Christmas, and yeah, I think the content is going to be really good this year. Very excited for the Aussie Open. So let's get into it and start off with Rublev's successes, because I'd usually start off with what the winner did well, but today I'm actually going to start off with Rublev, because in the first set he was the better player, and then I can talk about how Rublev adapted his game and went on to win the match. So first of all, Rublev's first serve was extremely potent. He'd won 94% of points behind it in the first set. Also, Rublev took advantage of every short ball, and once he started dictating, he almost never lost the point. And he was also consistently making returns and forcing RBA to play. So how did RBA adapt to all of this, and after losing the first set 6-4 and being down an early break in the second, come back to win the match? So the first reason is purely because of experience. RBA is extremely experienced and is very composed. He's really a true professional and a veteran on tour. He's 34, and he knows through years of practice that when the going gets tough, he can raise his level and turn it around. He never switched off in this match and was constantly problem solving and trying new things to stop the rot, really. But now, kind of more specifically, onto the serve return. Because Rublev's first serve, as I said, 94%, was almost untouchable in the first set. But that led to RBA really twigging... God, I'm freezing cold, hold that thought. Right, that's better, apologies. But that kind of led RBA to twigging the importance of the second serve, because Rublev's first serve percentage was actually fairly low, and he found so much depth and power on the second serve return. And it really acted as a lifeline in Rublev's service games, and it kept RBA alive in the match, really, because more often than not, RBA was creating his chances via the Rublev second serve. It's slow and it's shallow in the box, and for the match, the effectiveness behind that shot was down to 38%, and in the second set, it was down to 11%, which is really unbelievable for a consistent top 10 level player, so full credit to RBA. But also, Rublev's effectiveness behind his first serve dropped, partly because he was over-pressing on that shot, because his second serve wasn't good enough, and he needed to do the damage with the first serve, but also because RBA just stepped back, and that simple slight adjustment is just what gave him the extra time to react and get a read on the serve's direction. And in the first set, it just kept falling, so from 94% to 71% in the second, and 67% in the third. So in the end, RBA had an almost fully neutralised, really one weapon that Rublev was leaning on more so than any others. And about Rublev's return, because that was actually very impressive in the first set, because he got so many balls back in play, which isn't always the case. But RBA just put it up a gear, and by the end of the match was just painting the lines at will. Rublev's ability to cover the service box just wasn't good enough, and it gained predictive, really guessing to one side, guessing where the serve was going to go. And by the end of the third set, and the end of the match, RBA was winning more than 75% of points behind his first serve and second serve. So Rublev just could not get a read in it at all. But now onto the short balls, which Rublev was capitalising so much on in the first set. When Rublev dictates like he does off the short balls, he pushes his opponent side to side more often than not into the open court. And this usually leads to errors, as his opponent is on the run and usually does a pretty crap slice into the net. But RBA made the same adjustment as he did for the serve, really. He stepped back a little bit when he was moving laterally, so he had more time. But also, when he was forced into a slice, he floated it back really high and really deep. And against most players, this wouldn't be a good tactic, because they would approach the net and pick off the easy volley just out of the sky. But Rublev really doesn't have a net game. His power is very linear, and it's from the baseline. So when a slow slice lands at his feet on the baseline, he almost has to start the point again, because RBA had got the point back to neutral and had recovered his court position, so Rublev had gained no advantage in the point. And that just led to a lot of Rublev unforced errors, because he was just pulling the trigger too soon, because he just wasn't quite patient enough to build the point again and work it as well as he had in the first set. And this also really had the double effect of frustrating Rublev, who at the best of times is a bit of a glass cannon. It's always bubbling under the surface for him. But suddenly not being able to finish the points that he was once dominating really got on his nerves and affected his overall consistency. And about that mental edge, Rublev really wilted when he was broken in the third set. He hit 2 double faults and an unforced error to give away that break of serve. And that was all that decided the set, that single break. And that was the match, 6-4 in the third. And just one final point about rally tactics, because Rublev really missed a trick by attacking into the RBA backhand, because that is exactly what RBA wants to happen. He's so good at absorbing pace on that wing. It is his best ground stroke, and as he got his eye in, he just barely made an error from that wing. RBA's tactic was exactly the same though. He was attacking into Rublev's backhand side, but that is exactly what you need. That's exactly how you need to play Rublev to get those unforced errors and short balls. But RBA is a true professional and is highly tactical. When serving for the match, he hit 3 winners into Rublev's forehand side, and for 2 of those, Rublev didn't even move to try and get it back, because RBA had conditioned Rublev so much to rally on his backhand side that changing directions was just a guaranteed winner. Rublev was caught cold 3 times in a row. And it was just like watching poetry in motion. RBA was playing chess against Rublev 10 moves in advance, and it was just such an impressive display about the overall completeness of his game. So overall, Rublev was looking in great form, but eventually RBA just found all the answers to every one of Rublev's questions. And bit by bit, he picked apart Rublev's weaknesses and found those openings and strategies that other players really struggled to find against Rublev. RBA has now levelled the head-to-head 4-4 and now faces either Sebastian Korda and Andy Murray in the round of 16. Sebastian Korda is up a set at the moment, so it is looking like he will go on to win it. But that was my analysis. A lot of work goes into these videos, so subscribing will be in the world. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great one.